Megastar Magazine TV.
Hello and welcome to Megastar Magazine TV. My name is Monique Agbe. In the news, President Bola Tinubu celebrated his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, as she turned 65, describing her as his confident counselor and steady anchor in all ramifications. Tinubu poured encomiums on the First Lady not just as his spouse but as a long-life partner whose sacrifices have quietly shaped their family and the nation. Religious leaders, political leaders and others further described the First Lady as a devoted Christian, seasoned public servant, philanthropist and astute politician who has touched countless lives through her projects. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has said any leader who fails to perform should be voted out of office if proper elections are conducted. Jonathan described electoral manipulation as one of the biggest threats to democracy in Africa, said that stakeholders should come together to rethink and reform democracy. Jonathan spoke at the 2025 edition of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation Democracy Dialogue held in Accra, Ghana. 20 suspected cultists were arrested and 4 buildings linked to them were demolished in a raid carried out by operatives of the Edo State Special Security Squad. The operation was carried out in Isako West Local Government Area of Edo State, led by the Chief Security Officer, Government House and the Governor's Principal Security Officer. The recent operations followed the brutal killing of a young man, a barber in South Ibia, an act tied to rival court clashes. Gunmen have allegedly assassinated a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Matthew Eya, parish priest of St. Charles Catholic Church, Eha Nyagu, in Unsuka Local Government Area of Enugu State. The priest was reportedly traveling from Enugu when his vehicle was intercepted by assailants riding motorcycles. The hoodlums reportedly shot at the vehicle's tires, forcing it to stop before firing multiple shots at close range. On the foreign scene, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced the United Kingdom's decision to formally recognize the Palestinian state more than 100 years after the Balfour Declaration. Starmer said, in the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and of a two-state solution. Starmer has pledged further action to sanction senior figures in Hamas leadership in the coming weeks. Guinea held a long-awaited referendum on a new constitution that could allow coup leader Mamadi Doumbouya to run for president and transit the African nation from military to civilian rule. Polls opened for 6.7 million eligible voters to cast a yes or no vote on a new constitution that would lengthen the presidential term from 5 to 7 years and create a Senate. In the capital, Conakry, where political campaigning was banned on Friday and Saturday, people gathered at the polling stations early on Sunday to cast their votes. In sport, Gabriel Martinelli came off the bench to rescue a point for Arsenal as the Gunners played out a 1-1 draw against Manchester City at the Emirates. Arsenal started at the front foot, but they found themselves behind just 9 minutes into proceedings. After a scramble for possession in Man City's half, Erling Haaland popped the ball off to beat David Raya for an 11th goal in 6 matches for club and country. Botswana has become the first African country ever to win men's 4x400 gold at the World Championships. On a rainy night in Tokyo, Botswana were not to be denied their historic moment, defeating the almighty Team USA to claim Africa's first men's 4x400 world title in history. Kebby Nashipi gave the best performance for the team, catching up and beating Rai Benjamin of the USA on anchor as the Americans finished second. In entertainment, celebrity chef and multiple Guinness World Record holder Hilda Baci has marked her 30th birthday with a heartfelt reflection. She described the new decade as a fresh beginning filled with gratitude to God that has defined her career, strength, resilience and ambitions. Baci's remarkable journey has not only placed Nigerian cuisine on the global map, but also inspired millions across Africa and beyond. That has been the news. For more information, follow our social media platforms showing on your screen.